So in this video, we talked about the circuit before. We previously, in our previous video, solved the circuit where we take two resistors and we bring them into a series and we have 15 ohms. And what we do is we solve for the current, right? I is 0.67. This is pretty straightforward, right? So now what we want to do is, this concept is called circuit reduction. You reduce the circuit to an I, right? You reduce the circuit to a single resistor, whatever that circuit is, and you solve for I. So now what we want to do is we want to do its opposite. So what's the difference between reducing, right? We can call it circuit expansion, or we want to call it circuit rebuild, right? And it's just a term I just kind of coined, but to understand circuit rebuild, we went over voltage divider and current divider. But in reality, our focus now is going to be on current divider and why we use the circuit rebuild for the current divider. Okay, so the first thing we want to do in this case is label the diagrams, right? We reduced the circuit already. So this circuit is diagram 1, right? We're diagram 1. This circuit here is diagram 2, right? So this is the lowest. When you get down to 1 resistor, it's the lowest possible circuit you can get. So this is our central point, right? I'm gonna put a little star there. Okay. Now, when we rebuild, we go back to the one above. So this is the lowest point. We go one above. So it has to be diagram 3. Now, what is this diagram 3? Obviously, I erased some of this material, but this should be a lot easier. We have diagram 3. Diagram 3 is going to go, okay, I'm here at the lowest. Now I go backwards. I go one step higher. So I have to say C diagram 1. D1 is diagram 1. Okay, and now okay, now I can go R1, R2. Okay, so remember, diagram 3 now looks like diagram 1. Now obviously the current is here. The same current that's here is also here. Okay, now in a more complex parallel circuit, that's not the case, and we will show you what the differences are. So now that it's here, I need I need to solve for VR1 plus V of R2. Now we did this before, but we didn't do it in the circuit rebuilding, but now I'm going to show you why that's used, right? So here you want to put VR1 is equal to IR1, and VR2 is equal to IR2. And simply type in 0.67. Our 0.67 comes from here. Our R1 comes from here. Okay, which is 10, which is 6.7 volts. Our IR2 is 0.67. I'm sorry, I is 0.67. For R2, our value is 5, which is up here. So you multiply that by 5, and you get 3.35, just like that. Okay? And you will see that this plus this comes out to approximately 10, which is Vs, which is 10. Okay? So this is the first example of our circuit rebuild. In the following videos, I will show a little more complicated circuits and how you rebuild a circuit.